What's up, Infected? It's Wolf with the Quarantine, and this is Kickstart Your Week. So if you're not familiar with what this is my weekly show that I do, or at least attempt to do, that covers the previous week's Kickstarters that I thought looked interesting. Now there's no hard, fast rules on what I choose that goes in. It's really, what did I think looked interesting that week, and what do I think you guys might look interesting. It could be completely biased, anything from the thumbnail, I thought the title sounded neat, the game itself looked neat, whatever. And then I watch the video usually, I'll skim over the page and do very light research on the game. Usually it's just a light skim, does it look interesting, kind of get an idea of maybe how it plays, and then just talk about it here. Now, if you like what I'm doing here, and you like this show, definitely check out the game Maraudy. I have a link down in the description that'll take you over to their page as well. They do pretty much the same thing we do. It's me and two other guys, and we just basically BS about Kickstarter. We all choose usually one, and we talk a bit more in depth about why we chose that game. So they're pretty cool guys. Definitely check them out if you're interested in shows like this. Alright, first up on my list is Flaming Pyramids. Now this one I've actually gotten a review copy of, and if I remember, I'll actually up in the corner put a link to the review as well, so you can check that out. But spoilers, it's a really fun game. This is the one that's on this list that I can actually confirm, because I've played already, that it is really fun. It takes the concept of Uno, where you have cards, you want to be the, Uno, you have a hand of cards, but in this you have a hand and a little deck of cards, and your goal is to not have any cards left. And it's got a really cool spatial element because you're building a pyramid, and the heavier stuff needs to be on the bottom, and then the lighter stuff needs to be up top. But they also have to either match weight or they have to match color, and they have to be lighter than the two cards that are below it. You have two cards and one card on top. And it's a really neat system because you wind up having these dilemmas where you can put this card down, but you're just going to possibly set yourself up for failure later on down the road. So you really have to consciously think about every card you place and when is it going to come back and bite you in the ass. But the game also has a couple fire cards in it as well, which can just burn parts of the pyramid, and it's a lot of good lighthearted fun. It's pretty simple to teach, and it plays in, I want to say, like 15, maybe 20 minutes, and that's with 3 or 4 players. It's ridiculously simple and surprisingly large amount of fun. I don't know what I was trying to say there. Surprising amount of fun. There we go. That's words. Next on this list is Tombed. Now, Tombed looks like kind of a generic one versus all game. We can play 5 players. You have 4 adventurers and then 1 evil player, basically. Similar to another game I have down here, Level 7 Omega Protocol, which is out of print, unfortunately. But this one takes kind of that same one versus all concept, but it's set in like an over-the-top Egyptian curse kind of thing. And I got a very, Brendan Fraser, like 90s The Mummy kind of vibe for it, because one player is the pharaoh, and he's half mummified, and he's bringing up giant scarabs and these jackals and all this stuff, and it's, the adventurers are trying to complete a task. The other player is trying to stop them completing the task. That's basically the game. It doesn't look like it has the really cool thing that Level 7 Omega Protocol does, where every action you take makes me stronger, which is really cool, but this doesn't, I don't think it does that, but I really enjoy the Egyptian theme, and I also do like one versus all games. Next up is Vast, the Mysterious Manor. Now, I'm going to actually have to pull up my phone here because I can't remember the exact rules here, but what really interests me about Vast is each player is taking control of a character, but each character's goal is completely different. So for example, the Paladin has to kill the spider. The Skeleton, which is the green player, has to kill the Paladin. The spider just has to get out of the manor. Then you have the manor, I guess like spirits of the manor, are supposed to trap the outsiders. And then you have the enchanter has to beguile the others. Basically that one's like a timer. Basically if after so many rounds have gone and nobody's won, then they win. So because of that, each person is actually doing their own thing, their own objective. So you're directly conflicting with each other because, again, Paladin's trying to kill the spider, so there's that forced conflict there. The spider's just trying to get out, so pretty much anybody can stop that, but the Paladin is directly stopping him. And you have the guy the skeleton trying to kill the Paladin, so there's that direct thing. So now the Paladin has to stop focusing from the spider to now deal with the skeletons. And I really like that very asymmetric kind of, confrontation there. It's really interesting. So that would mean that you could technically play the game, probably, you play it once with a character, you're learning the character, you're not going to be good with it. So really, minimum of twice. So it means the first 10 times you play this game, it's going to be a very different experience every single game. Because, you're learning one, you're going to suck, and then your actual play when you know the rules. And it looks really interesting. And then the artwork reminds me of kind of old 8-bit video games almost to an extent, and apparently there's another Vast game, and I've never played it. Joey actually talked about this on the Gamerati podcast, and it sounded really, really interesting. I don't know a whole lot about it, but I do really like the fact that each role has a very specific goal. So definitely give this one a look. And the last game on my list, because there is only 4 this week, is Heroes of Land, Sea, and Air Pestilence, plus the second printing. Now, I missed out on the first Heroes of Land, Sea, and Air. Money was pretty tight, and I wasn't able to back it, but it's from Gameland Games, and they do a lot of the Tiny Epic games, which I'm a very big fan of. I love Tiny Epic Galaxies, Tiny Epic Quest, which I have around here. I think it's over on my other shelf. Fantastic little game. Now, this is their venture into a big, grandiose, not so tiny, but still epic game. Now, I have not played this one, but it looks like, from what I understand, it is a 4X, a big, expand, exploit, exterminate, and explore. And I love those style of games. I really enjoy 4X games. And this is in a fantasy setting. You're building castles, you're whooping each other's ass, stuff like that. But this looks like it introduces floating islands where you actually have these cardboard islands that you put them on these little stands so they're actually raised above the board, which I thought was kind of neat. You don't have to do something like that, but that's really cool. But then there's also undersea cities where you're just going to take like this clear blue acrylic, looks like a plastic piece that you can see through, but you just put it over an island so it looks kind of like it's underwater, so the merfolk can actually go into that. I thought that was really, really cool. That's not something you have to do, but that's really neat. And other than that, I don't know a whole lot about the game, but overall I'm a big fan of 4X games, and I like the fantasy style, and I've heard nothing but really good things about this game. So if you're looking for an entry point into the Heroes of Land, Sea, and Air, this is going to be your best bet. And those are my Kickstarters for this week. Hopefully you will maybe found one here, and you'll consider backing the project. Maybe you'll back all of the projects. But my arbitrary Kickstarter of the Week award, kind of a toss-up. I know for a fact Flaming Pyramids is a really, really fun and really light, really fun game. But Vast sounds so cool. I love the simple, just the fact that every role is totally different. You can really, if you're just really good at the game, you already know how to play everybody. You could play this game 5 times, and it's a different game every time you play it. And then, depending on who is playing each role, it's still different because you're going to play your role different than I play that same role. And I really like that. So I'm really kind of on the fence, but I think I'm going to give my arbitrary award to Flaming Pyramids. Purely for the simple fact that I have played it, and I do know that it is a really good game. It looks like at the time of recording they're at 26% funding. But if you like games like Uno, but you want one that's more strategic and actually is a game and not draw cards and hope you can play the right card, this, where you place your piece really matters. So in the very beginning of the game, you're not going to have a lot of choice because you have to place in certain places. But as that pyramid starts crumbling, it's going to open up places that because you always have to make a pyramid if possible. Once you make a pyramid, then you place next to it and you build up. Place next to that, build up. Place, and you make the pyramid bigger and bigger and bigger. At some point, that pyramid's going to fall. Once it does, it crumbles down, you take all those pieces, put it back in at the bottom of your deck, and then you keep playing. But now, you have a bunch of different places because you have to try to complete that pyramid. So that's where your choices start coming in. What are you going to put where? You know, maybe you only have heavy cards in your hand. Maybe you only have light cards in your hand, but they're really light cards. So you're going to put one down. Cool, you're going to put one down now. But later, you're going to have to, you know, put a green or a red card here. Your only green is heavier than the 2 cards below it. And so it's just such a good game. So fun, so light. If you're a fan of Uno or games like that and you want a game that's just better, definitely pick up Flaming Pyramids. It is a fantastic little game. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you'd like to help support the channel, you like what I do here, I do have a Patreon link down in the description. Any little bit amount definitely helps. I also have a one-time donation down in the description as well if you'd rather do that. Again, any little bit definitely helps. I'm no longer monetized on YouTube due to subscriber count, which leads me into the next one. If you're new here and like what I do, definitely hit that subscribe button, stick around. If not, watch the video. That also helps support the channel, and I definitely appreciate it. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'll see you guys next time in the quarantine.